name is Meg. Welcome to my YouTube channel and my messy house. In this video, we are going to first do a house tour. Actually, it's an apartment tour before we lived here. And then second, we will do a bit of a self-talk declutter, so you can hear me think out loud while I go through a bunch of clutter. And then third, we will come back here and we will talk about just the way that we think about our stuff. So if that interests you, continue watching. So this is kind of like a growth progress video. Was there anything else I wanted to say at the beginning? I'll remember it later. Okay, so this is our apartment. So this is the living room where we do a lot of all of our things. Ben is a software developer, so that's why he's very, very busy right here. He's working from home. So this is where he lives a lot of the time. And when he's not working for his regular job, he's working freelance work so we can get in a house. Which reminds me, by the time you see this, we will not be living in this apartment. Ben agreed to film this video. He's behind the camera. Everyone say hi, Ben. Hi, Ben. He agreed to film this video on the condition that I would release it after we lived somewhere else. So that's my disclaimer there. Yeah, so tech, big tech. Entertainment, big entertainment. Clearly, I'm a plant lady. You will also recognize this cabinet if you saw my home make with me video. And then this is my art desk. It normally looks a little bit more cluttered than this, but let's not talk about that. This is sometimes our apartment looks like this kind of video. So, yeah. Big window. Normally we put these are Amazon boxes that we cut up, and they're the exact perfect size, and we call them our hobo curtains because the blinding light makes it very warm and hard to see in all of our monitors. So, this is our inversion table, which helps us with our backs. It's very useful. While we were in the living room, I want to show you the entryway system. So this is awesome and important. So my keys live here, not that you need to know that. And then I've got all sorts of like purse accessories here, and then I've got dust cloths here, and then my purse actually lives in this drawer down here. Having a drawer where I can put my purse helps it stay out of sight, and it just keeps things more tidy, and I really like it. So, also, we like to use sugar bowls for all sorts of things, so this one has spare change. And then, oh, this is cool, while we're here, I've been thinking about this, literally, okay, I am that nerdy color person, art desk, as you can see. I have an entire notebook of watercolor paper dedicated to color tones. So, these two, they're kind of technically in the same category, but this one's a little bit more blue, this one's a little bit more yellow. When they're next to each other, they don't agree. They don't get along. But if I separate them slightly, it doesn't stand out quite so much, and I think they work okay in the same room together. They work well in the community, just not next to each other. And then this is also a little example of, hey, a tall thing, a squatty thing, and a small thing. 3 things together. It's an interior design thing, and I kind of love it. Okay.
Nook.
Nook? Oh, yes, good point. That's the ottoman. We store lots of things in the ottoman. We own things, but we have hidden them. So this nook is kind of, this is where I pour a lot of brains out. I pour brains out everywhere in this apartment, as you will see. Something. Yep. Okay. One of the things I'm really proud of in this nook is actually these boxes up here. Those are my sentimental boxes. I have also another drawer where I keep sentimental decor, which is kind of its own category. It's really fun. But my sentimental boxes are really, really awesome. That was a huge, huge step for me. I had like 4 banker's boxes with all of that in, and I was able to get it down to that. So it's categorized and labeled. And what else I want to show you here, I hung my kites on the wall, and they take up less space that way. I would love to find like one of those collapsing chair holder things and then put them in that and then put them in the car. Because you don't need a kite in the house, you need a kite in the car when you're going off adventuring somewhere. Ben, may I show them the laundry room briefly?
Well, let's go.
Okay, so this is our laundry room. It's not particularly special, but we did install a second thing of shelving up here so we could maximize that space. Like, this is our inflatable mattress. This is where we keep our light bulbs and our carpet cleaner and spare boxes. I have a passion for organization. So this is my box collection. If you've seen the Con-Marie Netflix series where she shows up, she's always bringing like boxes. This is mine. I was doing that before I read that book.
It's the container.
It's the container. Something that's really important to me in the laundry room is I like having designated places for the hangers to go. Ben gets black, I get white because I'm OCD that way, and we'll see if that pattern keeps up once we have kids. There's lots of things that I'm doing right now that I probably will not do when we have kids. We have 2 laundry baskets, and one of the things that I love when I open up the dryer, which it has stuff in it right now, so never mind, I will sort stuff from the dryer into the 2 laundry baskets, and that helps me get it put away easier. And then the last thing I want to show you while we are in here is actually my wall caddy. So this wall caddy is awesome because I can put, it's rust proof. It's one of those shower caddies. So these, if they're moist, I'll set them here so they can dry out completely. And then I have my like baking soda here. This is my detergent. This is demite fluid, which is really great. If you have dust mite allergies, this is expensive per bottle, but it does last for a bit. And then I also like using Dawn to get out stains, which is really great. And while we're here, this is at Walmart in the kitchen section. And I like to use it for when I have to get out stains and do messy sort of soaking projects, that sort of thing. So that concludes the laundry room tour. Okay, on to the kitchen, shall we? So this is our kitchen. I'm so pleased with how our kitchen has turned out. Honestly, I want to show you the tea drawer. First thing, let me show you the tea drawer. So we have this little espresso cup where we keep our scoop for our coffee grounds. Coffee's here. My favorite tea is here. This is a space that we got from Walmart. These are just empty boxes that I use to keep the things that I want facing forward. Iced tea for sweet tea, hand towels, and coffee, pretty obviously. But it's all very like organized and tidy. It's one of the drawers I'm really, really proud of. Similarly, you know, this is pretty self-explanatory. I have all of our powders that we add to our tea or our coffee for nutrition. One of the really fun things that I keep in here, I keep this container of Q-tips in the back right corner because it's right next to the sink. And then if I want to like get into one of those crevices and I don't like necessarily, a paper towel is just not gonna cut it. And oh look, there's so much grunge on my kitchen sink. So I really love having those Q-tips there for that. This is our water system. So what we do, we use the Brita filter, we fill it up with water, and then when it's full, we pour it into here, so that way we have like a second reservoir of filtered water. And we have another one in the fridge, so then that's our cold water reservoir. Drying rack, dishwasher, pretty self-explanatory. I like to keep this countertop as clear as I can, but normally it has plants on it, if I'm being totally honest. One of the things that I'm really, really proud of with the kitchen is actually these little plug-in night lights. That is a complete game changer. I can't rave about those enough.
It's the poor man's under the cabinet lighting.
It exactly is, but it has a really nice ambiance. They're incandescent. I'm not an LED girl. So this is our above cabinet storage here. And so like I keep our big bag of rice and beans up there, but I've got like smaller containers of rice and bean in the pantry behind Ben. So that's where I keep the big $20 bag, and we've been working on that bag of rice for like 2 years now. Yeah, because we bought it when I was in the other apartment and we moved it over here. So while we are here, look at this canister. It's simple, it's beautiful. It has a scoop. What's inside of it? This, my friends, is Epsom salt, and I use this to clean a cast iron pan. And I have, another fun hack. This is a Bragg's salad dressing bottle that I have adapted to hold lemon juice.
It was my idea.
It was Ben's idea. I started using this first to dribble water on my plants, but then Ben adapted it for lemon juice. He's like, can I have one of those? And so now I have my lemon juice, I have my Epsom salt, which is a cheaper salt than kosher salt, and I use that to clean our cast iron. Ta-da! It's a game changer. This is our kitchen table. This is my vitamin system. So instead of measuring my vitamins out once a week, I bought 4 of these and I measure them out once a month. And as this is empty, I need to do it again. That's one of the things I'll be doing once I finish this video. Putting my extra kitchen appliances on a shelf has been a total game changer. So I just thought I'd put that out there. I am a big fan of this system. So like we've got our Instant Pot that was given to us, cheap crock pot. You can do so much in a basic $20 crock pot. And then 2 stock pots. When we got married, I had a stock pot and Ben had a stock pot. We kept both of them and we've used both of them. Love that. This is a shelf that I inherited from my grandfather. Random fun fact, you will notice these baskets here. We keep our vitamins in there, we keep our table linens in the other one, and then our DVDs are on that shelf there. One of the reasons, like, are these baskets on the more expensive side? Yes, they are. But do we use them all the time? Yes, we do. And they're not an eyesore. So one of the awesome things about having a budget, being organized, we use YNAB, which is YNAB, stands for You Need a Budget. YouNeedABudget.com. They've not sponsored this video, I'm just throwing it out there, you need a budget. One of the great things about having a budget is that you can designate money for household, if you have extra money. And then slowly you can acquire like things that look nice to store your things in. It takes time and it's not always an option for everybody, but Ben is nodding and he's telling me to like move on to the house. Okay, this is our bathroom. One of the things you will probably notice is that I love Expo markers, and this is my outline for my auto response email for my Inverstream art sign up. So if you want free coloring pages, go check that out. Inverstreamart.com. One of the other things I love about our bathroom is that we have enough countertop space to put like folded washcloths in, so they're always handy, and you know you can always get them. Organizing in the bathroom has been so much easier with drawers. Drawers are such a luxury. That's my honest opinion. Okay, let's step in the tub here for a second. Okay, this is where I really spill my brains. So we have scripture memorization here, currently working on Philippians 1. This is Aquanotes, and I literally use every single square inch of that piece of paper on that notepad to like write down ideas and things and then tear it off and put it where the projects go, that sort of thing. Also, we installed one of the cubby cups over here and it's a game changer. So,
Little shelvy shelves.
I will show them the shelvy shelves. Oh, while we're on the countertops though, okay, this is just a sour cream container because we use sour cream a lot. This is a tub shroom, so you put this in your open hole and it captures all the hair. I have a lot of hair. It captures all the hair, it keeps it from going down the drain, keeps it from getting clogged. I have a 20-foot plumber snake, and I know how to use it. But these are a game changer. I have 2 of them so I can rotate them out, and currently they're sitting in here because I need to soak them in bleach, which is awesome. Over here we have a shelfie shelf that I am very, very proud of. So this, it's cute, it's blue, it's decor, it's Asian, and also it holds my, whatever this thing is called, toothbrush head. So that way all the drip from this goes into the little pretty container and it doesn't go onto the actual base thing of the toothbrush thing. So, and then this is where we keep our cotton balls. Oh look, cotton balls. Don't worry about this, will be edited. Oh, and then while we're on the shelfie shelf, I keep my nighttime supplements here. I'm very vocal about the fact that I take lithium orotate because we need to destigmatize lithium orotate, but the other ones I turned their back because that's none of your business, and I don't want to prescribe things that are not for people. But also magnesium is really great for you. These are a couple of rocks that I love that we picked up at a creek, and I just like collecting rocks. What can I say? While we're still in the bathroom, I want to show you my makeup collection. So, this is my makeup collection. When I found out that if I downsized my stuff to fit in this 1-bedroom apartment, we could save like $300 a month, I got serious about purging. So that is the extent of my makeup collection. I mean, that's not pretty or great or whatever. Ooh, look, more night lights, love them. So yeah, that's the extent of my makeup collection. Used to, I had my makeup collection in a caboodle. But let me show you what my caboodle has now. This is officially the medicine cabinet, and it serves a wonderful purpose. This is our bedroom. Now, our bedroom has been such a sanctuary for us, and honestly, like, I like to have one room in the house where I can tidy it up, put my back to it, and face whatever else is going on in the living area. So for me, the bedroom has been that place. And so, as you can see, I love plants. I also love to style. I also love having like little decorative plate things where I can just toss my earrings or my hairpins or whatever. And I organized our books recently, and that was a really wonderful, fulfilling thing. Yeah. Ooh, this is awesome. So again, I like having decorative storage. So this, it's awesome. This is what I use to hold my books. And then I have stories of Albarian, notes in here, and crochet. Oh, and I took one of Ben's chopstick holders and I put my wooden crochet hook in it because wooden crochet hooks are known to break, but they're also really nice to work with. So this way it's protected. Bible, journal, notes. By my bed, I have a dictionary, a hymnal, our marriage journal, a concordance, and some light reading. So, not that I read much, but when I do read, I read the Bible. One of the things I want to show you about Ben's bedside table is we have a little holder for lens wipes, because he is a glasses dude.
We basically have little containers of lens wipes all over the apartment because it's really helpful to have.
It is. It's a game changer. So, highly recommend that if you are a glasses person. We also have essential oils because essential oils. Oh, and while we're on multi-level marketing products, Norwex in the kitchen, I have one of those. Yes, they're everything they're cracked up to be, and I buy mine on Amazon. I also keep coconut oil by the bed because it has a lot of uses, and I've started swishing in the morning with coconut oil for like 20 minutes, and it's helping my candida. So, yeah. This is actually an ottoman that we transformed into blanket storage, and you would never know. And it works awesome. So, love that. Okay. closet, we have worked so hard on this closet. Here in this corner, we actually have a massage table, DDR pads, and a piano keyboard hiding under there. You know, because our apartment's so small, we have to really focus on what we're going to use. So right now I'm focusing on art, you know, the piano and the massage table, they'll come out at another time. They're kind of just waiting to break free. Up here we have our luggage storage, pretty self-explanatory. This is a box of bags, so kind of like container storage, but just for bags. And then here, these are our everyday hooks, you know, if you wear a pair of pants, you want to wear it again, that sort of thing. This is a hemming project I'm currently working on, so that's that. I have downsized my clothes a lot. That's one of the things that you'll notice if you compare my very first home tour with this one. My clothes in that tour were overwhelming, just exploding everywhere. And in this tour, like, yes, I have a load of clean clothes in the dryer, but they all fit here when they're put away. So that is really wonderful and empowering. And, you know, all my shoes, most of my shoes fit here. I have a few heels that we have in like these cubbies up here. And again, we installed this set of shelving when we moved in. I also labeled it so that I know what's going on in those. Something really fun, I like to see my purses. They kind of go with the color scheme. So I hung them up on hangers. And then they're there and easy to access, that sort of thing. Having little decorative boxes to hide stuff. I mean, this is just my everyday jewelry. Is super helpful. I've got handkerchiefs and sunglasses in that one. So these belts, like this belt fits on my everyday hook. This belt was small enough that it didn't fit on the everyday hook, and it drove me up the wall. So we finally got the command hooks, and it fits, and they're wonderful, and it's a place for my hats to live, because I kind of have a hat collection. I kind of need to downsize, but you know. I have my ribbon box up here, and like swimwear and ballet supplies. That's kind of what lives in these gray boxes up here. But the final stop on the tour, I mean, I have the patio, but there's not much to see.
It's too dark.
It is too dark. All right, the final stop on this tour is actually my sentimental decor drawer. So, let me show you this. This is where I keep some of my most favorite special things. Like, this was given to me by one of my friends in my sexual healing small group, and it has Mark 534 on the back, which is a really precious verse to me. You know, this is a ceramic thing that I painted, and then my brother picked this out for me. This is a unicorn on amethyst, and this is the inspiration for the Stories of Albarian logo. So, you know, super, super special. Like, I have Ben's boutonniere save from the wedding. This is a mug that my grandmother got on her travels. You know, this is a little decorative thing that was given to me by a very close friend. These are my Prismacolor pencils from when I was a little kid. I had a whole bunch of them, but when I was downsizing, I was transitioning in life, I was like, you know, I don't want to keep all my pencils. Let me give them away, but let me save the ones that are most special to me. So this is my collection of favorite pencils. Please keep in mind that that tour that you just saw was the pinnacle of what I have accomplished in my tidying journey. I have an entire playlist dedicated to this topic, which includes tours of my house when it looked more like this, with just absolute chaos everywhere. And I'm pleased to tell you now that this is the exception in my life and not the rule. Now, with that disclaimer, let's talk about decluttering. You may or may not know, but I have a few mental health conditions, mental illness things. I can put links to that in the description. Not really talking about that in this video. But I have an embarrassing story to tell you. So I started working with a new health coach. I decided I wanted to transition away from the other doctor that I've been working with. So I got my vitamin prescription filled out through till mid-January. And I said to myself, okay, I want to work with a new health coach, find someone, and get an appointment in October. And that happened by the grace of God. So they said, okay, let's do some tests. Let's get fresh numbers. It's been 2 years since I've had any blood work. Like, I love blood work. Few things bring me joy in life quite like the sound of, let's get you some fresh blood work and a stool sample. That stuff has changed my life. So, I'm not the person I am today without all the holistic functional medicine stuff that has gotten me here. So that being said, so I got my blood work done and I coordinated my urine test to be the same day. I froze the sample. It's in the freezer. So that was Friday last week, and my mom asked me, hey, so are you gonna send out that urine sample? Like, yes, I'm gonna do it. My husband says, hey, so you're gonna send out the urine sample, right? That Monday, right? Yep, gonna do it. It's Thursday night, and the form that I need to fill out for the urine sample is somewhere in this pile of paper. And I tell this very embarrassing story to communicate this. Having a tiny home is not the most important thing in the world. But what is important is being able to know where your things are at so that you're organized, so you're less stressed. And I'm looking at this deadline of, okay, end of January, I need to have another vitamin plan in place because those vitamins are going to run out, and that's what's keeping me from going loopy, paranoid, anxious, all that fun stuff. So, I have found that a lot of the homemaking and the mental health thing, like, they kind of go hand in hand. And if my home is cluttered and stressful, it makes my anxiety worse. So that's what this series is about. You can go click in the links and see some of the older videos I've done. I have a whole playlist on homemaking. If you're new here, okay, it's time to tidy. All right, so these are pens that my neighbor gave me. I have pens for when I'm reading in my Bible. I have colored pencils for when I'm in my notebook. I don't really know what to use with these for yet, but I want to keep them. They're so pretty, oh my gosh. I think I'm going to put them in my art desk. Okay, this is my notes for Stories of Albarian when I launch in the new year, relaunch that in the new year. So I need a file folder for this. Is the of capitalized? What is proper grammar anyways? So put the papers inside. You don't have to be this anal, but we like to be this anal. Sue me, it's what I prefer. Don't sue me, actually. I'm really not interested. This is an envelope from a card that my church friend sent me, and I want to write them back. It's one of those important, non-urgent things. I'm gonna go put this on the bulletin board, so it'll be like accessible, and it will like remind me when I see it. If I see it for too much and it just makes me constantly feel guilty, then I probably will just throw it away. I can get her information through directory. It's easier to hold on to the envelope. So I'm gonna go put it on the bulletin board. Okay, this is reimbursement receipts for my church purchases that I do for homemaking there. I need to put this with the other folder that I have for the other receipts. I lost one. I was like, where is it? It was in this file folder. I lost my shoes in my closet. I lost my camera in my wallet. Lost my car keys in my hand, thinking of another plan. This is the health forms I filled out for the doctor who wasn't available until June of 2021. So I worked with someone else, but filling out this information was really helpful. So I'm going to put this with my bigger file folder. You may have seen it this way in my mental health vlogs. Okay, so here's a really good example of when I open this up, this looks really chaotic and disorganized, as it probably is. But here's the thing, it's all in one place. Old me would have gotten distracted from this by trying to organize this. And now I think to myself, okay, this is with the other things where it needs to be. It doesn't matter that this itself isn't organized. I can come back to that later. There's so much. There's so much that's up here. And it just takes time. It really does. But you're going to get there. You are going to get there. Like, have you seen my other house tours? When I was in Florida, my house was completely trashed. So, I believe in you. These are pieces of paper from when I was resketching a thing and it didn't go the way that I wanted it to go. So see here, that's the window. And then this is the little girl and Jesus in front of the window. It's for illustration 9 of Psalm 23. You can get the coloring pages for free at anniversarymart.com. And I should probably make a note to put that URL. I have so many things that I'm trying to keep track of that I just can't. I mean, I can if I really want to and I press my mind to it, but like, how relevant is coloring pages to this vlog? It's like the other end of the spectrum. So yeah, okay, I can throw away these post notes. That's good. Okay, so this illustration I like, and this is one of my originals. So I'm gonna put these originals, because some of this is off of my art desk. I'm gonna put these originals with my main Anniversary Mart files. I'm gonna make more trips, but right now I have 2 things in my hand. My brain can hold on to 2 things in my hand. I know what I'm doing with them, and I'm not gonna get overloaded by saying, oh, here, let me put this in the trash from the label maker, and here, let me put the label maker away. I mean, okay, I can do that, but sometimes we try to do too many things at once. Besides, you need to get your steps in, or at least I do. Okay, so I took these to my art desk to put them with the file, but I think the file actually might be here. Maybe it's not. No, wait. It's in the bottom drawer of the file cabinet where you would put files. So profound. And here's more of the coloring pages if you're interested. This is a coaster. It can go with the other coasters. This is a baggie bag. I can put it with my container of baggie bags. Very technical term. I feel self-conscious about how long this is taking, but also you came to hear my self-talk, healthy self-talk. So I'm not gonna feel self-conscious about myself talking. Okay, this is a 3x3 grid paper that I use when I'm tracing to like help design where I want things to go. And then this helps me keep it in a square. Oh my gosh, I've used up so much paper, but that is okay. I can buy more paper. The main thing is to finish the project. Where there are no oxen, the manger is clean. But by the strength of an ox, a great harvest is brought in. Proverbs. And this goes on my art desk. And this Stories of Albaran file I will put in the file. This is a printout of Philippians, the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verses 12 through chapter 2. And I want to memorize Philippians. So I've started this thing where I put the first page in the shower in a plastic bag. And these have just been sitting on my desk, taking up space, but I think I'm just gonna put it in the shower with my other one because that's where it needs to live. I didn't print out the other pages, I just printed out these 3, but like, either I should use them or I should put them in the trash. Because if I try to save them to like use them later, I'm gonna have trouble finding them. Like that's just, I trimmed off the bottom of the papers for these and now I will go and tape them inside my shower. Mostly I'll just get to set them on the countertop with masking tape, and then I will tape them in later, but it's closer to where it's meant to be, and all the supplies are together. So I can actually do it when I remember it, as opposed to seeing the thing and then being like, oh, I should do that, and then walking away and saying, oh, I should do that, and walking away forgetting, oh, I should do that. I did that when I was in Florida. That's majorly stressful, and you don't have to live like that. But yes, it's very important to keep your working memory as clear as possible. It's very important. Okay, this is a note on my Instagram highlights, and this is already out of date, so I can just throw it away. I outline my Instagram highlights. I'm extremely intentional. I do not put stuff on the web for my health. I'm not doing this to just get it out of my system. I had somebody say that when I danced at church one time, and it kind of hurt, so here I am. By the way, I'm definitely going to be talking about church abuse and awkward things inside of that, so if you want to stay tuned for that, stick around. This is a scissor, this is a mask, this should go in the trash. This is, ooh, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire, hymn number 557. Based off of 1 Corinthians 12 or 14. This is my currently folder. I want to label it. Graph paper. This has my social media reel notes. Look at that beautiful graph paper. I love it so much. It's easy to organize your thoughts and get all the indentations right. Where am I going to put this? I'm just going to set up my art desk because that's where I expect to find it. Okay, I'm going to put my scissors away, and I'm going to throw away the mask. Here, look, let me move the trash can over here, where it will be helpful, because it takes 3 steps to go that way, but if I can just put it in the trash, that makes my life easier. It's all about making your life easier. Okay, this is my currently folder. This also goes in my art desk. This is a great big Amazon package, and I'm saving it because I want to have an art shop. I have an art shop, and I want to have a viral art shop, and I want to send out all the things, so I'm going to hold on to this. Where am I going to put it? I'm going to put it in the storage closet where I have all the other mailers. And first I'm going to take the sticker off so it keeps my private address private, because that's kind of important. Okay. Alright, I'm so close with this pile. Ooh, these are brainstorms for coloring images and size templates. This is completely blank. This can go on my art desk. Alright, so these are a brainstorm. This paper is the most important because it captures the thought. And then I want to put that in front, and I'll put that in this file folder, and I'm going to label it again. Okay, what am I going to call this? And then label. Now this is a working file as opposed to like a reference file, so I'm going to put this on my desk. But now that it's labeled, I can look at it and say, oh, I know what this is. This is a baby post-it note that I love. This is a plastic lid. I don't know where it's been, so I'm just going to put it in the sink and then run through the dishwasher. The baby post-it notes, where do I want them? I'm going to put this in my little container over here. I have a little box next to my bed where I just keep like a bunch of little stuff, and that way it's next to my bed, but I don't have to look at it. To the sink. This is packing tape, and I can put this in the utility closet. I remember being so overwhelmed with homemaking that just like facing the gigantic mountain of clutter that was my home felt really impossible, especially when I was working full-time, trying to provide myself. If I didn't work, I didn't eat. Like, granted, that's biblical, but also it's really intimidating. One of the things that has really helped me over the years is to kind of pick a room in my house where I felt like I could tackle it the most easily. When I lived in Florida, that was actually my bathroom, and so I loved reorganizing my bathroom. And then once my bathroom was clean, I felt like I could turn around, I had my back to someplace safe, and I could face kind of the other places. I could face the chaos in the rest of the house. In this apartment, it's really been my bedroom that has been like my place of solace for me, because when it's tidy, it's so cute. Not that you can tell right now. I mean, my laundry hamper is overflowing. I have a pile of laundry on that side of the bed that you can't even see. Like, I've got cords and cables from all of our various devices. Like, it doesn't feel great right now, but I also know that if I just put in a little bit of effort and I go through, you know, taking the time to pick up, you know, every item and say, what is this? Where does it need to find a home? And then just taking one item at a time. And even if you only get through like a little bit at a time, that still counts. And like that old saying is true, you eat the elephant one bite at a time. I don't know when those videos are recorded of me going through my house and it looks like a train wreck, but I've been married to Ben for 3 years, so it's been a while. So, I mean, it takes time. It gets easier the more that you do it, and here's a really cool thing. The more that you become whole as a person, like just spiritually understanding how God made the world, emotionally more secure in this is how God made the world and this is how I relate to it, and more physically healthy, the easier it is to make your living arrangement better. Now, like, those may be really, really challenging for you. You know, you may feel really hurt by God, and that's totally okay. He's a really intense being sometimes, and he's hard to understand sometimes, but he's good. And then emotionally, like, we can go through some really messed up stuff as human beings. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that can mess us up emotionally. And then physically, like, I have such a heart for my chronic illness people. I mean, I consider myself a high-functioning spoonie. When I was on my mental health journey, I was a barely functioning spoonie. Like, I spent extra money eating out because I just didn't have the energy to cook, and, you know, but then, like, the pressure of, like, putting money on my credit card is just, like, you know, and everything. I share all that to say this. You're not alone, and you'll get through this one day at a time. So back to the project at hand. This is an amber glass jar that had ghee in it that I washed out, that I have drunk tea out of because I just really love the shape of it. And I don't know where I want to put it, but actually I think I want to keep drinking tea out of it. That sounds really weird, and Ben doesn't like it when I bring more mugs home, but because the real estate in the cabinet is so tight. But I think we have room for one more. Of course we have room for one more. And this, I will put this in a bag and label it. Okay, speaking of tea, my tea is cold, but I don't even care. I'm getting tired and I'm winding down, but I promised myself I would do this because this has been inside of the bed. And also I said when I finish, you know, I don't feel like starting this. I don't feel like filming this video. But when I finish, I can go and play my Autonauts video game. The whole point of that game is to make your life easier. It's a game about automation. Like, that tells you how passionate I am about it. This is a bed sheet that I was using to cover my bicycle, and I think I'm going to do that again because it gets really, really dusty and nasty out there. Okay, we need to talk about this. I have owned these peppers for easily a year and a half. Easily. Does this have an expiration date on them? I mean, it's dried peppers. They're not going to expire. You know where I need to put these? I've been keeping them in the closet with like snack stuff, but this is a spice. You're not gonna look for it in the snacks. I need to put this with the spices. I know where it goes. Oh, and it fits. Look at that. I'm so stoked. Woohoo, so stoked. I hope that encouraged you. I know for me, the way that I think about myself has definitely changed and morphed over the years, and the more that I mature emotionally and spiritually, the easier it is to know what to do with all of the clutter and the stuff and just the notepads and the things, and, you know, how to keep everything together and place it and do it in a way that helps me to feel more calm, more at peace. Something I wrote down as I was preparing to do this video was, our home both reflects our current mental state and reinforces it back on us. And that is so important. And so the first thing I want to tell you about tidying is that you don't have to face it all at once. You can face it one piece at a time. That is huge. One small decision at a time. It is okay to take all of your clutter and push it into a corner and focus on making one area, one room in your house really tidy. For me right now, that place is my bedroom, and we have a smaller bedroom. There's enough room to walk around the bed and have a few pieces of furniture. And I've gotten it organized to where I can keep it tidy very quickly. I can get our laundry put away very easily. And so my bed is a safe haven for me. And I go there when I need a break from all of the projects that I'm doing, all of the clutter that's in the rest of the house. If the kitchen needs to be clean and I just can't think about it just yet, I hide in my bedroom. I want to talk about the kitchen. One of the biggest traps in the kitchen is having a lot of different tools or specialty use items that we tend to hold on to, but then we never used. I'm going to introduce a term called calcified cabinets. Now, the word calcified comes from the word calcium, and in a physiological sense, calcium will deposit on the inside of our arteries, mostly when we're short on K2, but that's a different video. Calcium will develop on the inside of our arteries when it needs to be going back into our bones. And so when calcium is in a functional place, that means that you can't have full range of movement there. And so we don't want cabinets that are calcified, where there's so many things packed into them that you haven't seen the thing at the back of the cabinet for 5 years or more. That's not a functional kitchen. So we love KonMari. I'm a big fan of KonMari. And so the whole pulling everything out and thinking about it and then, you know, rethinking about where you put it away is super beneficial. If you don't have the energy to do that all at once, don't worry about it. Don't pressure yourself. Just take it one day at a time. Just see one piecemeal thing that you can do in front of the other. The last thing I want to say about calcified cabinets is that when we get rid of things that we use rarely, or we put them, like, this is the door to my attic. So if I had like a bundt pan, I would put it up there because I never use it. I'm not much of a baker, and I accept that baking is a hobby that I'm just not specialized in. I'm gonna find a baker at my church and give that bundt pan to them if I really don't ever use it, which when we were gifted a bundt pan at my wedding, that's what I did. And it was a really beautiful bundt pan too, but I just don't bake. That's just not a hobby that my brain enjoys doing. I don't like making messes for my hobby, which is very ironic considering I paint. Anyways, that's a whole nother thing. But if we have things in our cabinets, when we clear out the things that we truly never use, we have more space for the things that we do use. And we have more space between them, so it's easier to get them in and out. And that, my friends, is a game changer. And that's why you see so many people on the internet obsessed with decluttering and getting rid of things that they don't use. And if you think about it, the generation that we're at, we are the grandchildren of the generation that got through the Depression. This is important. Now, I don't have the link to this handy, but there was a study done on rats, and they put the rats in kind of a deprived situation, and then they noticed how those rats behaved afterwards. And they also noticed how, you know, they had more hoarding tendencies.
and then they noticed the children of those rats also had those hoarding tendencies, and the grandchildren of those rats had those hoarding tendencies. And my generation, on a cultural level, my generation is finally breaking free of that hoarding tendency to hold on to things. Now, can we get overboard and throw away too much? Yes, we can. And so if you're not sure, you can hold on to things. Don't pressure yourself to throw everything all at once, because I have throw things away regret, if that makes sense. So don't force yourself to make decisions that you're not ready to make. And again, making sentimental decisions takes time. And the more that you mature, the easier those decisions are and the clearer those decisions are. So take your time with it. Don't rush it. But to go back to the cabinets, the less non-useful things you have in your cabinets and the more useful things you have in your cabinets, the easier it is to get things out and use them, then wash them, and then put them away. And that is a game changer for my kitchen. Is my kitchen clean right now? No, it's not. But also, I know that I can get my kitchen tidy in a relatively quick fashion, which is encouraging when it looks very, very messy. The easier your kitchen or any of your spaces are, the easier that your kitchen is to tidy, the more you will tidy it. And the same goes with any of your spaces. Another trick that I really love in the kitchen is to store tools on the wall. This has so helped me. So I have a whole set of measuring cups. Those are all on command hooks on the wall. And then I have 2 or 3 sets of measuring spoons. Those are with it. So I can grab one of those sets. I know I will have whatever measuring size I need. I can measure out whatever spice. And then as soon as I use like a wet ingredient or that set gets dirty, I can put it in the sink. And I know I still have 3 more sets of measuring spoons on the wall that are fresh and clean, ready to grab, ready to go. And measuring spoons are fairly inexpensive, so you can buy multiple sets for like not that much and have them all ready to go. Makes it so much easier. Now, there's 2 categories that are really important to me. They kind of go together, which is projects and hobbies. And I don't know about you, but I'm a creative person and I love to think up projects for myself to do. You know, the things that I'm most proud of in my life are the things that I assigned myself. You know, God gave those ideas to me to steward and create and see into the world. Those bring me so much joy. However, sometimes I will think up more ideas and projects than I can possibly complete. And I have learned, here's a great example. I was walking through my neighborhood one day and I saw this beach chair in the trash can because the seat had kind of given out. And it was just a piece of fabric, and so I thought, oh, well, I could take this home, cut this material off, and then get new material and put it on and so on, and I'd have a fresh new beach chair. So I took the beach chair home, and it sat in my house for months. I never even started that project, and eventually I realized this is a waste of my time and emotional energy, and I just put the beach chair back in the trash. Now, I have no regrets about throwing that one away. That one was a relief to get rid of. But there are also like Facebook groups where you can trade, like, here's my ADHD hobby collection that I impulsively bought a ton of stuff for, and I'm just not gonna get back into it, and trade it with someone else. I love that because I've gotten into a bunch of different hobbies, and I've accepted when I go through the craft store, I'm not buying more of that. I'm not buying more of that. I'm only buying something for what I'm committing to make. I have some yarn in my project bin, and I don't know what I'm going to make with it just yet, but I'm actually waiting to start that knitting project until I solve this clutter pile behind me. And doing that has really helped me to stay focused in keeping that off of my list and my mental, you know, the more things that you mentally assign yourself, or at least I'll speak for myself, the more things that I assign for myself, the heavier that I feel and the longer it takes for me to complete any of them, which is a very frustrating feeling. But the more that you accomplish and the more that you let go of accomplishing, the easier it gets. Something else to look out for is what I call project lasagna. And now this is when you've got a project here, but you're overwhelmed and you can't get to it, and somehow you set another project on top of it. And then you start getting behind, you can't get to that project, and you set another project on top of this, and you form lasagna. And my best recommendation is, if you find yourself in this situation, is to, first of all, group your projects, put them in a cardboard box if you have to. Sort them any way you can so they're not like this, and instead they are like this. Then, prioritize which one needs to be done first. And my current assignment for myself is actually to compartmentalize, and I'm going to be refusing to think about those other 3 projects until I finish the one that I have committed to doing. In that moment, I might work on 2 or 3 projects a day, depending on my stamina and what time of the month it is. You know, we have to pace ourselves depending on our energy. That is part of being a woman. I'm assuming most of my viewers are women. If you're a guy, congratulations, you skipped out on that one. Please use your consistent energy for the good of mankind. And open doors, we need that. Doors are heavy. Much appreciated. I mean, do I look like I want to open doors? No. I will always say thank you for opening doors. Anyways, love me a we need gender goals rant. Let's talk about sentimental items. So, I don't know about you, but I am a very sentimental person. And so I like to hold on to notes and papers and things that remind me of moments that were meaningful. Now this can become dangerous when I'm so overwhelmed with sentimental items that I just don't know what to do with any of them. Now, I've learned to prioritize. This reminds me of this, so I can let go of this thing that also reminds me of this, but it's not as special as this thing. And having only this instead of both will make this more special. But only let go of something if you're doing it conscientiously. I don't know how to make sense. Some of you may need to just release things in a whole batch. If you are so piled in your life, that might be necessary, and I applaud you for being brave like that. I want to encourage you. I have thrown away some sentimental things that I didn't want to throw away. I wish I still had in hindsight, but when I threw away, I was angry. Number one, don't throw things away because you're angry. Throw things away when you're calm and you're thoughtful and you're practicing forgiveness, not resentment. 2, the God who made the world is a God of goodness, and he's also a God of justice. Now, both of these things are very important. The sweet memories that we have in life, you know, the things that we want to hold on to. A woman is a historian of every moment she has ever felt loved. If we accidentally lose or throw away or something is taken from us that represents a precious memory, and we're afraid that we will forget that memory because we no longer have that item, I want to encourage you. God remembers. He is the source of that goodness that you want to remember. And I am a Christian, and so when we who are believers go up and enter into eternity, all of the precious things that we were afraid that we lost, all of the goodness that was associated with them will be there, because here they're simply expressions of who God is and his goodness and his love for us. So if I lose something that's sentimental, I don't have to be afraid that I'll forget the memory, or even if I do forget the memory, you know, that it no longer matters anymore. That's a huge fear. And I don't want you to bear that any longer than you have to. So first, God is a God of goodness, and everything that is important and beautiful and matters in this life will be saved on the other side. Justice. There are oftentimes things where we have an item that reminds us of someone who hurt us, someone who did wrong against us. And it is the God of goodness who determines what is right and wrong, that determines that that was wrong, and that is a comfort. But we still have this physical item who reminds us of someone who hurt us, and maybe they've apologized, maybe they haven't, maybe they apologized sincerely and they changed, and maybe they haven't. What do we do? With these items, you don't have to hold on to anything that causes you pain, that reminds you of something that hurt you. That's not necessary. And throwing those things away, if it helps you to let go of those memories and make more space for good to come into your life, then do that. You know, gifts from ex-boyfriends or family members who maybe gave you a gift and it was a mixed motive gift and they were trying to compensate you for some inappropriate behavior, you can let go of those things. You can put them in the trash, you can put them in the thrift store. If you can do it safely, you know, you can burn them. Safely being the key word there. But I want to encourage you. The things that require justice in this life will not be on the other side. They are not a part of the eternal goodness that is in God's kingdom. So whatever you do with those items that remind you of injustice, rest assured that everything will work out on the other side. I want to read you a few verses of scripture and then talk about some other types of possessions. Acts 19, verse 19. And the number of those who had practiced magic arts brought their books together and burned them in the sight of all. And they counted the value of them and found it came to 50,000 pieces of silver. So the word of the Lord continued to increase and prevail mightily. Sometimes we have possessions that represent strongholds of the enemy. Now, I talked about a God who is good and who is saving all the goodness for the believers on the other side in eternity. But I also believe in the existence of Satan, and he is a fallen angel whose sole purpose in life is to torment and tempt and destroy human life and anything that gives glory to the God who made goodness. So the enemy is all about anything that can give him more power over us. You know, he's a bully, and that's his entire method of functioning. And in this element of the book of Acts, people were recognizing we gave the enemy a stronghold in our lives, and it was through this written documentation, and we're going to get rid of that now. And so they did, and they burned it, and that was appropriate. Demonic items should not go to the thrift store. I'm just going to say that in case there was any confusion. I've actually had the privilege of helping a couple friends get rid of some of these enemy stronghold items in their lives. So I had a friend one time, Arlene, and she was telling me that she was trying to purge, some of these sentimental papers and just some things, but she was really struggling. And I told my mom about this, and she and I decided to fast and pray. My mom fasted from fruit for a week, and I fasted from alcohol. And I only had one little thing of alcohol in the house, and I poured it down the drain, which I didn't need to do. I could have saved it for the end of the week, but that was what I decided to do. The 4th of July was somewhere in that week, and someone offered me alcohol, and they're like, oh, it's a super fruity thing, and like, I'm not a big alcohol drinker in the first place, but if I was, it was going to be fruity, and I passed. I'm glad I did. So it was not a hard fast by any means. Arlene later told me that it felt like there was this sink full of water and a plug was pulled at the beginning of the week, and then as the week progressed, the water began to spiral and spiral and then go faster and faster and faster out the drain. I went and I visited her at the end of the week, and she went through some papers, and she had some candy wrappers and just little notes that she'd written about, you know, the moment that those candy wrappers had played a part in, and she let go of them. And she let go of a book series that was really hard for her, that had a really strong grip, and she let go of a journal that she had written some really profane things in, and she knew that she didn't want to revisit that. She didn't want to think those thought processes again. You know, just fantasies and unhealthy, demonic fantasies. And she was able to get rid of those at the end of that week and be free from those things. Now, we have multiple layers in our lives, and you know, this is a journey, and that was one box in her life, but that was still an important box, and it was a hard and heavy box, and she needed other people to lift that with her. I had another friend I was helping, and we were just tidying through, and she had a past in the new age, and we were, you know, sorting through some things, and everything was hunky-dory, and then I looked, and there was this little package by the door, and I just got a different sense from this package. I looked at it, and I said to my friend, "What is that?" And she proceeded to open it up and show me it was this very lovely crystal that a family member had given her that had demonic attachments to it because of what other people had thought into it, for lack of a better phrase. We did not keep that crystal. So, now, that was the exception, an entire room in a house, and we went through some CDs that she had, and I didn't get any sort of the same vibe about the CDs. Well, maybe a little bit, but and actually she gave me the CD case, which I have to this day, holding my very precious millennial CDs, which you cannot pry from my cold dead hands, thank you very much. Actually, I want to go buy a CD player, like an old compact Walkman thing, because I lost mine. Somebody stole it while I was at Boston Ballet in 2004, and it had my Parachute Band CD in it, and I hope that person is doing well. And it was a beautiful little red CD Walkman thing. I hope they're doing okay, because every time that I've stolen something, I've lost something of equivalent value, of greater value, but equivalent worth in my life. And yeah, stealing gives the enemy a stronghold, and it is so not worth it. No, there's a lot of struggle that comes with pursuing God and righteousness, but I will take trial and tribulation any day over the consequences of choosing self-satisfaction and that comes from sinning against other people. So that's my rant on that. If for some reason you have a history of, you know, possessions with demonic attachments, you may need to ask for help, and there is nothing wrong with that. So ask for someone to pray with you. Ask if they will hold you accountable to fast with them. Like I said, you don't even have to fast from much. I've done a lot of fasts where I've just fasted from chocolate. I've fasted from tea. Obviously, I don't have weight to lose, so fasting for me is a little bit more of a delicate endeavor. I have an anorexia playlist. Let's see, I think that'd be over here. I have an anorexia playlist. You can go look at that. Like, I'm not about fasting food and losing weight. Sorry, you're getting way more than just tidying here, but like, this is the whole point of my channel. Like, I I see the big picture, and I'm very much about putting everything in my life in order. And like I said before, our homes reflect our mental thought life back to us. And so it's important for them to be in order so that we can come home to a safe place where we can recover from the world and we're not warring against our home while we're in our home. We need to rest here. We need to recover so we can go out and face the challenges, the very worthy challenges that are outside. I have 2 watercolor paintings I want to show you because they really encapsulate, my thought process about things and what our homes are supposed to be. So this first one, I painted this right as I left South Florida to move to Alabama to marry my husband. And I love how these boxes are just floating in the ocean, and it says freedom from memory. One of the things that I did when I was packing up to leave was I actually got rid of a lot of my old journals. And I actually have a video of my journals at like the beginning of my YouTube channel. And like it was a massive box. It was like 30 pounds. And I was thinking about filling a truck with all of my things and coming to Alabama, and I realized I just don't have the room to hold on to these anymore. And I'd felt so much pressure to write down all of the sweet, beautiful things that I had journeyed and experienced, and I knew that I just didn't have the strength to carry those with me anymore. And I trusted that God would hold on to their goodness. He would save them in the cloud, so to speak. So that was a huge moment of freedom for me, and one that I would never force on anyone else, but it was the right time for me. The second piece of art I want to show you is this. Make your corner of the world beautiful. This is so important to me. This is a life motto. If we make our homes beautiful and then we share them with others, we strengthen our own hearts to go out and face the world, and then when we bring others in and we nourish them, we strengthen them to go out and face the world. And then when we beautify our communities, we create safety. I forget who it was, but when you plant gardens in urban areas, crime goes down. Like, we were meant to be amongst nature. We were meant to have green growing things, and we were meant to see God's beauty. So when we make our corner of the world beautiful, and yes, some of us are called to the ends of the earth, but most of us are called to be in one place for a season or a lifetime. And when we focus on making that place beautiful and meaningful, it enriches the people who live there, it enriches the lives of the people who live there, and it brings beauty to all who would visit. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it has encouraged you in your tidying journey. If you are struggling with purging things and they're super sentimental, or you're processing a situation that they're connected to, or especially if you have some of those demonic stronghold items in your life and you don't know how to get rid of them, I would encourage you to click the link in the description and connect with a mentor. This is not a professional counselor, it's simply a Christian who wants to encourage you and walk with you in your journey towards freedom. Now, I will also have other links to tidying accounts as I find them. There's a couple I can think of off the top of my head that I want to recommend in the description. And I would encourage you to check out those channels, follow those people along their journey, and tidy along with them. Have something in the background that can hold you accountable and keep you company with that motivational energy of just, making your home clean and tidy and a place that is safe for you to rest and recover and become strong. My name is Meg, I love my Jesus, and I believe in living inside out. Now it's your turn. Go live it. Though I may speak with bravest fire, and have the gift